there, and welcome to the Football Show Monday. My name is Wale. It's so nice to be with you again. We've been obviously hello there, and welcome. It's the Football Show, and it's nice to be with you again on this wonderful evening. Yeah, it's been very wet, pretty wet around where we are in London, and but I hope it's been uh, pretty much okay for you wherever you are watching us today. My name is Wale, and it's the football show, and it's so nice for you to join the show again today. If this is the first time of watching your show, and please do subscribe to us, and obviously like our previous videos, previous editions. So today we've got someone all the way from Nigeria, from one of the foremost football teams, football clubs in Nigeria and indeed Africa. Okay, it's a football club that's got after its name, it's got an international in it. So it's just not a local team. It's not a national team. It's an international team, and it's a team. I must say, is very dear to my humble heart. Follow this team for a long time, and I dare say I still am a fan of this team. We're talking about the one and only Rangers International FC. So we've got the team manager of Rangers International FC. Joining us on the football show today is named Barrister Amobi. And Barrister Amobi is, he's a man of many hats. He's got also, just like I said, he's a barrister. He is a solicitor, a lawyer by profession. But he's also someone who's got football in his blood. And it's so nice for you to join us, Barrister Amobi Ezeaku. How are you today?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm very excited to be on the show today. How is London today?
Yeah, we're all doing good. It's just wet, but we're doing good. And how is Nigeria today?
Well, Nigeria is fine. The eastern part where we
Good.
reside, which is Enugu, we are bubbling. The activities here are always on the high. Earlier today, we were at the stadium for a preseason game, and it turned out fine. So everything is going on well here.
Good. And now is our dear Rangers International. I mean, Rangers is not just a Nigerian team; it's an international team. Quite a lot of people follow Rangers all over the world, not just in Nigeria, not just in Enugu or in the eastern part of Nigeria. How's the team shaping up? What was the scores in the preseason today?
Yeah.
Hello, yeah. Can you hear me, Amobi?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So yeah, how was the season today? How was the preseason? How did the match go? What was the scores, and who did you play against? Can you hear me, Amobi?
It was great,
Okay, good.
Playing against Division 1 teams, it could be difficult, but with experience, we were able to win. We played 2 games. We played with 2 different teams. The first game ended 1-0 in favor of Rangers, and the second game against the boys from Delta State, we also won that game 2-1. So we're in the finals, and hopefully on Wednesday we play against whoever tops the second group. But we feel that Rivers United, because they're on the continent and they're on they also on the second group, that we may be meeting them in the finals. But you can't predict football.
Sure.
You can't predict football. In football, you see small boys come to your home to beat you.
Yeah. Rangers International is one of the biggest teams in Nigeria. I know I dare say one of the biggest teams in Africa because it's a team filled with history. You know, it's a team that's produced captains of the Super Eagles. It's a team that's produced legends, you know, from Nigerian football legends. What has been happening to the team these past few seasons? I mean, we're always very proud to talk about Chairman Christian Chuku, Emmanuel Okala. We're always very proud to talk about people like Davis Inowumi, who is the CEO of the team now, and of course, very exciting players. Even some of them that are late at the moment. Someone like late Sam Okoye, who was under 21 goalkeeper, very great goalkeeper in his days. So what is going on with Rangers at the moment, and where are we seeing Rangers? I mean, the new season is coming up. Are we seeing Rangers going back to the glory days of old?
Well, I beg to be quoted. We are back to the glory days. This is my fourth year
Hmm.
here. I joined the team in 2016, and when I came, looking at history, it was clear that there was trophy drought in the team.
Yeah.
We were able to win the Nigerian Professional Football League trophy after 32 years.
Hmm.
And just 2 years after, we won the coveted ITO Cup, what we usually call the Federations Cup. You remember
Hmm.
the Asaba miracle? We were losing 3-0 to Kano Pillars in Asaba. And in just less than 16 minutes to the end of the game, the lads were able to upturn the scores, and during the shootout, we clinched the trophy. I always have this idea about football and every generation. You just mentioned the generation of Christian Chuku. You mentioned
Hmm.
the generation of Emmanuel Okala. We will also look at the generation of the Aloy Atuebu,
Hmm.
Ugu Benedict, aka Surugede.
Surugete,
We talked
yes.
of Davidson Owumi,
Hmm.
the Okoronkwas, the Solomon Okoronkwas. These
Hmm.
players played in their season. These players played during their time. And
Hmm.
every passing season, football changes. Every
Hmm.
passing second, football becomes more difficult. Currently, with the advancement of technology, with the introduction of new ways in the game, football becomes more complicated. The rules become so difficult. And that's why I say we are back to the glory days. Rangers has been on the continent in the past 4 years, over 3 times. And in each of these, we made it to the group stage. Notwithstanding the difficulties with traveling within Africa, notwithstanding the difficulties in logistics, especially within sub-Saharan African clubs, we've been able at each point from 2016 that we joined the club to be at the group stage. And coincidentally, before getting to the group stage, you play the knockout games against top teams in Africa, especially from North Africa. When you
Hmm.
play against a team like JS Saoura, or you play against a team like USM Belabes of Algeria, you play a team like Al Masry of Egypt or the Pyramids of Egypt. Uh, Funny enough, the last defeat Pyramid got at their backyard was against Rangers. The fine George of blessed memory scored that goal
Hmm.
at the center of Cairo. And it speaks a lot about the Rangers of today. The Rangers of
Hmm.
today is a Rangers that has brought back the spirit, the never say die spirit of the ancestors. The Rangers of today has rekindled that desire, that hunger for success. You know, Rangers is a movement, just like the FC Barcelona. Rangers is a movement. And my generation understand that history. We've been able to pass this message on to the younger people. They need to understand, and we clearly do understand, that this football club is a movement. This football club resonates the spirit of an average Igbo person, an average Igbo man. And beyond an average Igbo man, this football club now encompasses everybody from all walks of life, from all ethnic groups in Nigeria. You have Rangers supporters from all over Africa. You have Rangers supporters, and from all over the world. And that is why it is now Rangers International Football Club. Go to every country on the continent, you will see a Rangers supporter. Go to Europe, go to Asia, go to Africa, North America, South America, anywhere. And that is because of the strong structure, the strong institution, which is Rangers. The only club that has never been relegated in the Nigerian Professional Football League is Rangers. And that also explains the massive followership. That also explains why any player who adorns this jersey plays with his life, plays with the last drop of his blood, because it is glory or nothing. It is victory or nothing. And that is the philosophy of the current Rangers. That same philosophy with which we knew or read about Christian Chukwu, read about Emo Kala, read about Sam Okoye, read about David Ngodiga, read about Coach John Ede, Akim Ashiru, and name them. The spirit resides with us now, and the spirit will never die. And that is why we always say, all Rangers never say die.
Never say die. And I totally will agree with you with that, because I remembered when I remember vividly when I was a journalist, sports journalist with Complete Sports Souvenir back in the 90s. And when I used to make a trip to Enugu, and obviously to watch Rangers at the Cathedral, and also stay in the Rangers camp. I remember back in the days, I really fell in love with that club, even as a Yoruba man, as a proud Yoruba man. I left all the clubs, even Shooting Stars, my state teams, Sunshine Stars, and all of that. I said, no, this club, it's a club after my heart. And I dare say that, and I obviously concur with everything you said. Rangers is not just an Igbo team, it's an international team. Okay, and it's so nice for you to talk about this new generation of players that are coming up now, because this is one thing we've lacked, especially in the local league at the moment, because people now celebrate players that are outside the shores of Nigeria. Back in the days when the Nigerian National League was really at its peak, very strong, we used to celebrate people. We remember David Sinowumi during his time. We remember people like some other great players too that that played in the local league. We used to remember back in the days, even when we go to Kano to go watch Kano Pillars play. We remember Yaro Yaro. When Yaro Yaro is playing, Kano is like everybody in Kano is like at the Pillar Stadium. Well, why are we having a law? Why are we having an interlude, so to say, that players in the local league are not being celebrated as much as they should be, compared to their counterparts, the ones abroad?
Well, I would say that it has to do with the TV. Less than 20 years ago, we weren't watching the EPL on TV. If there was a game between Rangers and IICC in Enugu, people will troop en masse to the stadium. If there was a cracker between Rangers and Vasco da Gama, and then Manchester City will be visiting Manchester United. The match against Man U, between Man U and Man United will not be, Man City will not be on TV. People will go to the stadium to watch Rangers against Vasco da Gama. People will go to the stadium to watch IICC Shooting Stars against Julius Berger. People will go to the stadium to watch Ranchers Bees against Kano Pillars. People will go to the stadium to watch Mighty Jets of Jaws against Iwuanyanwu National. But with the introduction of the television, the TV rights, all the intricacies, we started losing our heads to, the plot of European football. Because to me, it's a plot. It was a plot, and they succeeded in that plot. Because they understand that in this part of Africa, in Nigeria especially, we love football, and we can go beyond 7 oceans, 7 waters, and 7 mountains to see a football game. And coincidentally, they understood the business better than our ancestors or our forebears. When a player arrives, you knew of JJ in Rangers. Immediately they found out that JJ was at his peak. JJ went off to England, to Europe, from Germany to England and all that. Kanu Nwankwo was in Iwuanyanwu. After his game against Rangers, I think in 1991 or thereabout, Rangers, after that game, he went off. Now, the administrators in Europe understood this game as a then better than us. Because right now, currently, I wouldn't say they understand this game more than us, because we read the same things they read. We go for the same courses they go for now. And that's why it's becoming so difficult for them to come here and buy our players for peanuts. You must pay for the value of any player playing in the league. So if we introduce TV, believe you me, we would have succeeded 50% in coping this very bad phenomenon. Again, we have to also look at the infrastructure. For instance, at the Cathedral, the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, a stadium of about 25,000 capacity, it has a cover stand. It also has a popular stand which is not covered. But there are other places in the country where it's possible that there should be an upgrade. When these things are done, when there is security, when the cameras are there, when safety, security, when service at every match center is up to standard, people will want to come and watch. I'll give you an instance with season 2016. In 2016, 60% of Nigerian professional football league games were on TV, courtesy of the Shehu Diko-led league management company. We saw beautiful goals. There was the introduction of night games, especially at the Temple of Soccer in Lagos. That is the home of Mountain of Fire Ministry Football Club. And also here at the Cathedral. People were so excited. Friday night football, we are going to watch Rangers play against Nasarawa United. Kickoff is at 7. Wow, that's wonderful. On a Friday night in Enugu, a state where you have about 5 campuses, where you know that nightlife would be the order of the day. After matches, people will either go to clubs, go to vigil, go to wherever you choose to go to library to read for the students. People would also go to the bar to drink. So I use 2016 as an example to show that we can actually succeed if we have the will, we can actually get this right. If we could get it right in 2016, then who says we can't do this? But then there are detractors. There are people who I tag enemies of Nigerian football, who when they see that the league is doing well or the NFF, they are doing things well, they begin to bring up issues, begin to look for loopholes where there are none. That shouldn't be so. We should be all involved in the success of our football, because football is the only thing that gives us joy. Football is the only thing that makes a Nigerian woman who is carrying a tray of orange on her head to actually be happy and stretch her neck to watch a game, forgetting that she has come out to hawk. And most times after the game and victory is got, you find out that the oranges are bought even with the tray, and she goes into extra money. And that is what football means to an average Nigerian. That is what football means to an average African. So in a nutshell, I feel that we have the solution. All we need to do is to up our will, to increase that spirit to get these things right. You mentioned the Christian Chukwu days. I wasn't born then, but I read a lot about those days. I knew how most of the match centers were filled up. I knew how people trooped out to see Shegun Odebami. I knew how people trooped out to see Dahiru Sadi. I knew how people trooped out to see Yusuf Salisu Yusuf, to see Yaro Yaro. And I say, if people in Kano can troop out today again to look at Rabiu Ibrahim or Rabiu Ali, if people in Enugu, if young boys in Enugu are so excited when they see legendary Okechukwu Odeta, who is currently in Rangers, then we've not lost everything. All we need to do is to add a little effort to what we are doing today. If people in Shooting Stars, people in Akure, if they can troop out to see Ajani Ibrahim, their homeboy, then we've not lost out. I met a young guy one day, a small boy of about 10 years. He's a ball boy. Every time he comes to watch games, after games, I will come to me and say, senior man, why did you people remove this person? He will call the player's name. Why did you people remove this? He will call the player's name. I took special interest in the boy. And then I told myself that if this boy could call Rangers players by their first name and surname, then it's possible. It's about interest. He will tell you that Nana Bonsu is from Ghana and he came from Accra Hearts of Oak. And indeed, the Rangers is a big club because we signed players from Ghana. He will tell you that Papi Usman is more Nigerian than Senegalese. And you begin to wonder. You now begin to see that it is also inferiority complex that will make our people to give you the history of a certain John Terry when Okechukwu Odita is living down your street. It is inferiority complex that will make someone to tell you about a certain Messi Mount when Rabiu Ali is living down your street in Kano. It is that inferiority complex that will make a football lover to tell you about a Peter Cech or to tell you about a Kepa when Ikechukwu Ezenwa is living down your street in Owerri and you cannot say anything about him. So we need to call back. We need to awaken the consciousness of our people to begin to understand that this is our thing. This is our content. And no matter the situation of the country, in as much as you cannot isolate football from what is happening in the country, we must continue to reawaken the consciousness of our people. We have to understand that this is our thing. The EPL can never be known as the Nigerian Premier League.
No.
It can never be known. The Spanish La Liga can never be transformed, can never be sent down to us and be renamed Nigerian Professional Football League. The Ligue 1 in France can never be renamed. So we must work on ourselves. We must look inwards. We must understand that we have the best legs, and we must appreciate and celebrate them. Thank you.
Wise words from you there. And again, I totally agree with everything you said. I mean, we just need to do everything possible to make sure that our Nigerian National League, be it the Pro League, Division One, what have you, goes back to what it was before. And I'm really excited you mentioned Chukwudi Odita, because I used to remember Odita back in the days when I was still covering Rangers. I actually thought he's retired. I never knew he still plays for Rangers. That's a really good one. It's a really good one.
Chukwudi has retired, but his younger brother, Chukwu Odita, is still with us. Chukwudi is the elder brother to Chukwu. Chukwudi comes around from time to time.
Okay, because I know Chukwudi back in the days. Okay, so it's his brother. So yeah, good. We're going to take a short break, Amobi, and when we come back, we'll just discuss about. I know you've mentioned quite a lot about what we need to do to bring back to reposition our football.
Yes.
Okay, so now we will talk about the power of TV, and indeed what we need, what Rangers International especially, we need to do to be a champion of all this. Okay, we'll go into a short break, and when we come back, we discuss more. Welcome back to the show. So I've been speaking with Barrister Amobi Ezeaku, who is the team manager for Rangers International of Enugu. I honestly do. I don't know if the Barrister Amobi would agree with me. I try as much as possible to refrain from calling Rangers International of Enugu. I don't call them Rangers International of Enugu. I call them Rangers International of the world. Okay, because I don't want Enugu people to only lay claim to Rangers International. It is no longer your team. It is a world team now. So I don't know if Amobi will agree with me on that. But we were talking about what we need to do to reposition our team and to reposition our football, and again to bring back all the glory days of the players of old. I know we cannot replicate. But then, if we need to follow through,
I agree with you.
So it is no longer Rangers International of Enugu. Okay, make sure you tell CEO David Sinowomi, no longer Rangers International of Enugu. It's Rangers International of the world. Okay, so now we're talking about how we need to reposition. Rangers is for me. I think is probably one of the leaders of the league in Nigeria. I mean, when you look at the league in England, for example, you talk about the Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, and obviously when you talk about the Spanish La Liga,
but
go on.
You are actually right, because the Rangers of today, the CEO is from Warri, Delta State.
Yes. Yeah.
The captain is from Asaba. Auditor is from Delta. In fact, the two major defenders are non-Nigerians. Papi Ousmane is from Senegal. Traore Isif is from Cote d'Ivoire. The goalkeeper of Rangers is from Ghana. Two of the goalkeepers, Nana Bonsu and Seydou Mutawakilu. We have players from the north. we have players from the south, we have players from the west. So it's a multicultural club. The Enugu there is just to signify the location, the base of the club. Most times, Rangers International Football Club, Enugu, Nigeria, and in some cases, Africa, because remember that FIFA listed Rangers and Enyimba as clubs that would play in the COVID-19 friendly. So when this game starts, Rangers will not just answer Rangers International FC Enugu, Nigeria. It will answer Rangers International FC Enugu, Africa as well. Because we will be representing Africa. With Enyimba, will be representing Africa with Al Ali Zamalek and some of the other big clubs in Africa. So the Enugu there is just it signifies where the club is based, or it's just to show location. So no cause for alarm.
Okay, my answer up now, so that's good. Thumbs up for you guys. So tell us about this COVID-19 friendly that you guys are preparing for. Obviously, you're going to be representing not just Nigeria but Africa, and also tell us about some players we need to look out for in the Rangers team of nowadays. I know you've mentioned, sadly, Ifeanyi that died. May so rest in peace. Quite a talented boy. So sad that we lost him. Could you also let us know? And I know you've mentioned some other players now, but who are we looking at, or what bunch of players, what set of players are we looking at to be the ones that will probably be remembering in the next 10, 20 years and say, "Oh my God, did you see so and so player play? You know, it was like a bright spot for Rangers International."
Okay, thank you. The COVID-19 friendly, at the wake of the pandemic, a lot of changes were made, ranging from the increment of substitutes to 5, and a lot of other changes with players' contract and the rest. With the passing of days, FIFA sent out the information that some clubs have been listed to play when the pandemic subsides, or possibly when it's over. And Rangers, we were listed as one of those clubs. Now, we have been training, and I know Enyimba also, they are also training, and we await further directives or information from FIFA. You know, it's supposed to be a charity game. It's supposed to be a game that would also be used to raise funds, a game that would also be used to show solidarity to health workers, to show solidarity, to show our love to the families of those who lost loved ones to the pandemic, to the scourge of COVID-19. So for now, we are at the preparatory stage, and hopefully in due time, FIFA will roll out modalities for the game. I'm talking about the players to look out for. In Rangers, every player is a potential danger man. But then, look out for Ibrahim Olawoyin. Ibrahim Olawoyin joined Rangers from Abia Warriors last season, and he made immediate impact. In fact, last 2 weeks, CAF said he is the best dribbler, or he was the best dribbler in the just concluded CAF Confederations Cup. Look out for the youngster, the current Rangers number 10, Ugoke Ugochukwu. His dazzling run on and off the ball is scintillating, very captivating, not just to the eyes, but to the heart of everybody who loves football. Look out for another lad, Agukenechukwu, the homeboy, they know him on the street as Oloko. In fact, he scored a wonder goal this morning at the preseason game, just 35 yards away, and boom, inside the net. Look out for our Oloko as well. Look out for the new signing, a small boy we signed this season. He's known popularly as Atodo, but his name is Mobodo Chidebere. You know that in this part of the world, nicknames prevail over people's names, and so look out for Atodo as well. One striking thing about the current Rangers is that the current Rangers is a mixture of young, strong boys and then a tincture of experience, and the more mature the Temi Olusesi, the Tope Olusesis, the Papi Usmanes, the Ugu Uwajebu, the Isaac Lutes, we still kept some of those experienced boys, because we understand that to uphold the philosophy, the fast playing philosophy of the coach, you need young boys who have strength, young guys who are brave, who will be very eager to take risk, young guys who feel that they have all it takes to play anywhere in the world. So look out for these guys, and hopefully with the passage of days, with the return of the league, with the return of the MPFL, we hope that the objectives of the club will be met, and you will see us on the continent again next season.
So what are the goals for Rangers this season? Are we going to see the Nigerian Premier League Cup coming back to the Cathedral this season, or what other mission do you have for us this season?
MPFL, yeah.
MPFL, yeah.
Well, apart from playing the game, apart from coming back to the Cathedral to play, the sporting objective is to win the league. The sporting objective is to win the MPFL, the Nigerian Professional Football League trophy, to win the ITO Cup, get a continental ticket for this season, possibly get to the group stage in the CAF Champions League. The coach, Salisu Yusuf, he has a 2-year contract. For this first year, he wins the trophy, he wins the league, gets a continental ticket, possibly gets to the group stage of the CAF tournament. The second season, win the league, get a continental ticket, get to the group stage, win the African Cup. We've laid out these plans. We don't want to put our two hands in our mouth. We understand that there is a systematic transition to success in football. There is a systematic movement, systematic ascendancy to the throne of success when it comes to football. And that is what we are doing. That is the sporting aspect. Now, the non-sporting aspect is this. Few months ago, in March, if you followed, we lost a player, Ifeanyi George. He was traveling home for the COVID break, and he ran into a stationary vehicle at Benin, and he died. But we already set an insurance scheme in motion for players and officials of the club. And in less than 3 months, it was invoked. His estate came. his dependents came and they went home with about 20 million naira. Now, 20 million is nothing to be equated to the life of George, whom we love so much. But then it would have cushioned a lot of things for the family. It would also go a long way in giving befitting education to the daughter. It would go a long way in also letting the parents know that he actually played for a club that values the welfare of players, a club that sees that insurance and understand that insurance is a vital aspect of football, is a vital aspect in the preservation of the integrity of football players. That is one aspect of the non-sporting side which Rangers strives to uphold. Every season, we make sure that we renew the insurance cover of the players and officials. Now, branding is one aspect that we need to resurrect to. That is one thing that seems so difficult for clubs, especially in this part of the world. But in Rangers, we are taking it bit by bit. We are beginning to not only explain to the players, but to also explain to ourselves, the administrators, that you would not see an official of Arsenal putting on a jersey of Enyimba. And because I will not see an official of even Rangers in Scotland putting on a Rangers jersey, then I do not have to put on their jerseys as well. It is not out of bitterness. It is not out of bickering. It is not out of rancor. It is out of the tenets of branding, which we are now being conscious of. It is because they understand this, and now we are also understanding it. That is why most clubs in Nigeria now have their active social media handles. Fine, we may not have high-profile technology, high-rated cameras, but the ones we have, we use them covetously. We make sure that we put in the best. That is another aspect, the branding aspect. The players now know that if a certain Cristiano Ronaldo from Portugal could make millions out of a singular post, then a player from Nigeria can also make same. Because as at USA 94, as at Atlanta 96, Nigerian players were being scampered for, being struggled for all over the world. Is an indication that we produce the best legs. It's an indication that we produce the best heads when it comes to the game. So that is another aspect that we've looked into. We are working after this live show. You can check out our Instagram handle, Rangers International FC Enugu, and you will see what is happening there. We want to be systematic about this. Prince Davidson Oumi is an administrator who is very experienced, and we are systematic about what we are doing at Rangers. Now, a few months ago, we signed a contract with Lotto for our sporting wares, but along the line, there were issues which are yet to be thrashed out. But if you look at the spirit and look at the letters of the contract, you would agree with me that indeed the contract and the spirit behind the contract, whatever intention was and is for the good of the club, because you would now have to get our jerseys online. You can order from your room in London, and the jerseys will be delivered. You pay online. You can get the jerseys in stores around. And when this is finally achieved, when we finally dot the I's and cross the T's, bureaucracy is still a part of us here. We pray that soon it will be history. But the good news is that we have ventured into it. The good news is that we are doing it. The good news is that we are not sitting down. We are not just watching. The good news is that we are not just reading in the news what other clubs are doing in Africa and why is a certain club that was unknown is now known, a club like Pyramid. The good news is that we are not just looking, and a certain Simba of Tanzania is doing wonders, and then Rangers International of the world is doing nothing. So the good news is that we have awoken to this responsibility. The good news also, talking of the non-sporting aspect, is that we are taking a look at persons, young, vibrant people who can actually add value to the system. When I came to Rangers in 2016, Rangers had no psychologist, Rangers had no physiotherapist. I know that's an aberration. They've looked at the structure of all the clubs in the world. A psychologist is very important. A physiotherapist, in fact, is a sine qua non for any club to be licensed to play all over the world. And when we got these people on board, the difference was clear. It was clear that a player who ordinarily would stay out due to a knock for 2 months would be seen playing in 3 weeks. That wasn't a miracle. It's practical. It's practical. And now other clubs are beginning to understand this. They are beginning to see that indeed we can get to that point when we will be the envy of the world. Why? We have the raw talents. I tell you this, a boy born today in Nigeria, another boy born in England, the same day, the same time. If they have the same facilities, if they have the same system, the boy born in Nigeria is likely going to go far, is likely going to do better than the boy born in England because of the raw talent we have.
Thank you so much for that, Amobi. And to be honest with you, I think one of the questions I was going to ask was about liquefying, and I'm so glad that you've actually touched on it. And the issue of insurance, you've touched on it, which is really very gladdening. And also, you've talked about the branding, which was also one of the questions I was going to ask you anyway. So it is really nice you've touched all these things. So to round up, I'm sorry, Amobi, before we round up, there's this question: when are we going to see Rangers International of the world in England, in the UK? Because I remember there was a time. There's a friend of mine who happens to be an Englishman. He supports a local team here in England, in East Dulwich, and he follows it quite a lot. He follows Nigerian football quite a lot because he wrote a book about the first Nigerian team to play in England. And he asked me when we saw each other at the stadium one day and said to me, there's this team called Rangers in Nigeria. I said, oh, that's my team. That's the team I support in Nigeria. And he said to me, Wally, can you not bring them to play in England? And I'm like, oh, maybe if I'm a millionaire, I'll probably do that. But one day I'll probably speak to somebody in Rangers and ask them that question. You have a lot of followership in the UK. If Rangers were to come to England to play, people will come from Italy, from Spain, from Germany, from Belgium, converge in England to watch Rangers International play. Is that a dream? Is that something we should be looking forward to in the future?
Yes, it's a possibility for Rangers to come to England to play. Why did I say this is a possibility? In 2016, I was the team manager of the Nigerian Professional Football League All Stars. We went to Spain for the Carranza tournament, sponsored by the LMC La Liga. We played games against Atletico Madrid. We played games against Malaga, against Cadiz. We played games against Valencia. And they were good games. They were very tough games. They were very important games, not just to the Spanish club sides, but also to the image of our league. Now, for Rangers to come to London to play, it's a possibility. If we could go to Spain for a tournament, the Carranza tournament, we spent over 10 days in Spain, traveling from Madrid through Cordoba to Valencia to Cadiz and the rest. Then it's possible for us to come to London, to come to England. In fact, we have a lot of Nigerians there. So it's a possibility. And I'm glad that this live show, anyone can easily reach out to you. If anybody feels he or she wants to send an invitation, we would honor that invitation. We would come to England to play some games, do some short camping programs, interact with our fans, interact with the people who love Rangers, and get to also hear their ideas, to get to know their opinion of things. That's why we are out there, we are active on the social media. So it's a possibility, Wole, and we are very open to that. We are not closing the doors to such possibilities. Our doors are wide open, and we can't wait.
And that's definitely something we'll probably will work on. And please, our best regards, our best wishes to the management and staff and the players of Rangers International of the world. Special regards to Prince Davis Inowumi, and hopefully one day we'll bring him on the show to talk about his tenure and about his vision for the team, and most especially at the end of the season, we will be in Enugu to celebrate together at the Cathedral for another successful season, not just winning the Premier League, but also winning a continental championship, definitely, and why not? So thank you so much, Amobi, for joining us on this show from your busy schedule. Thank you so much, and hopefully, pretty soon again, you'll be joining us on the show to talk a lot about Nigerian football, and indeed about our darling Flying Antelopes.
You are most welcome, Wole. Thank you so much, and kind regards to all our fans and all listeners.
Thank you. We will definitely say so. Thank you, Amobi. Thank you. Thank you for coming on the show. So, well, you've heard it all now from Amobi, who is the team manager of the Rangers International, not of Enugu anymore. Enugu is just a location, but Rangers International of the world. So that's Amobi Ezeaku, who's the team manager of Rangers. And it's very interesting to hear about the fact that they kept the memory of one of the players they lost in March, Ifeanyi George, in a road accident, kept the memory alive. You're still talking about it, which is really a sad event, but the fact that the memory is still there, the club is remembered, late Ifeanyi's family. And the most interesting thing out of that discussion was the fact that the club is going ahead, pressing ahead with ensuring all their players, not just players, but also the staff of the football team. It's also very interesting to hear about the revolutionary ideas that have been brought into the club, which is obviously will spread through the whole league, the whole teams in the league. Rangers is not just like Amobi said, it's not just a football club. It's a tradition. Okay, it's a tradition in the eastern part of that country, which is definitely spread across not just Nigeria but Africa. We've heard about all the players they've had. Very diverse team. Got players from the northern part of Nigeria, from West Africa, and it is really a good thing, you know. And it's also very interesting to hear about his vision, and also how the Premier League in Nigeria can grow. And we do hope the authorities are listening and watching and learning from all this, so that they can reposition Nigeria Football League, and especially the local league, which was obviously the darling of Nigerians back in the days. So that's the football show today. Special thanks to Barrister Amobi Ezeaku, team manager of Rangers International, all the one coming on the show next week at 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock UK time, and 9 p.m. Nigerian time. Hopefully, we'll be here with you to speak to someone else to talk about football. Before then, on Sunday, the Way Show will return, and that again will be at 8 p.m. UK and 9 p.m. Nigeria. And special thanks also to my colleague, Yomi Omogbeja, who obviously celebrated his wedding anniversary yesterday. Happy wedding anniversary, mate, to you and the missus. And wish you many, many more years of bliss. Okay. And yeah, to you out there watching, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and tell somebody about this show. Next week, it's another day. Another time. Monday will be another day. Keep loving football and be safe out there. Okay? See you next week.